Imagine for 1 second as a Canadian moving to another country and immediately hitting their streets, rolling fake body bags out, fake blood on your hands, waving Canadian flags, yelling the most vile things, covering your face. Of course not, because that's not Canadian values. That's not who we are as a people. Yet we continue to allow hundreds of thousands of people into our country every year who do exactly that. These past 2.5 years have been a total mask-off moment for the Canadian government, for Canadian society. What we've seen on our streets is unprecedented. I have seen these hate fests up close over the past 2.5 years, and what you see on CBC, CTV, if you have not seen these gatherings up close, are total misrepresentations. Nearly all of these gatherings feature fake body bags, literally fake body bags with blood, fully masked people acting in an incredibly intimidating manner. If you give any indication whatsoever that you are not in full agreement with what it is they stand for, they will yell the most vile things in your face, the most anti-Canadian things in your face. They have burned Canadian flags. They have chanted death to Western civilization. And how does our government react? At nearly every single one of these protests that I've seen, and I have seen hundreds of them, both Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, over the past 2.5 years, they are rolled the red carpet out. The police will allow them to scream the most vile things in our streets, literally get in our police's face, yell at them, screaming intifada. The most anti-Canadian rhetoric you could possibly imagine. And our police roll the red carpet out for them. They protect them. They do not protect counter-demonstrators. Wake the hell up, Canada, to what is going on in this country. How do we allow hundreds of thousands of people from areas of the world, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, whose values are so different than ours, it's as though we're from a different world. In these countries, women are not allowed to leave the house without accompaniment of a man. The LGBTQ support for these communities is so hilarious. It's literally a pig chanting for bacon. It's truly incredible. In these countries, it's a minimum 10-year prison sentence if a man is caught sleeping with another man. Women are considered worse than second-class citizens. Yet these woke ideologues continue to scream, allow hundreds of thousands of people into Canada who have the polar opposite of the values that they purport to be championing. Certainly nothing like the Canadian values. You think that free speech exists in Afghanistan? Do you really think so? I'm seeing more and more on the streets. I don't give a shit if people call me racist or xenophobe. I want to save my country before it's too goddamn late. You cannot walk more than 10 meters now in Canada. It used to be one off, you'd see somebody with their face completely covered. Now it's absolutely everywhere. You can only see the slits of their eyes. And I'm not only talking women, I'm talking men as well. I'm so sick of people with the insignia of terrorist organizations walking around on our streets unimpeded. This is the destruction of Canada, the destruction of Canadian values, and it is being championed and it is being cheered on by our Liberal government. We are being sold out unlike any other Western country in the world. And I see most Canadians seem to be rather apathetic about it. We need to wake the hell up. We are seeing massive protests now. Over 2 million people out in the UK last weekend. Fantastic for Tommy Robinson. Australia, we saw hundreds of thousands of people. Germany, we see a major uprising. The AFD in all likelihood is going to win the next election. Reform is going to win in the UK. I'm seeing an awakening everywhere in Europe, but Canada seems to be totally asleep at the wheel. And I'm confused as to why that is. I think it must be people have not seen these protests up close. These intimidating thugs that the CBC, CTV refuse to give an honest reporting on. If you look through my profile, I have video after video. Since when is it okay in Canada? Absolutely. Go out if you want to. have a peaceful protest, go for it. But these fake body bags on our goddamn street, is that a Canadian value? Is that what we want in Canada? Fake goddamn body bags on our street? And just the gall to show up in a country, to immigrate to a country and then immediately, I would never in a million years, if I were to immigrate to wherever it might be, Spain, somewhere in Africa, somewhere in the Middle East, I would never in a million years wave Canadian flags and shut their streets down. The gall it takes to do that. And then to, not only that, but to be burning Canadian flags, be chanting anti-Western civilization. And it seems as though the vast majority of us are totally asleep to what's going on. So please do not watch CBC, do not watch CTV. Do not trust when they tell you that these are peaceful gatherings of people who just want to have their voices heard, because the exact opposite is true. I've been physically threatened countless times, and I'm not complaining, but somebody has to go up and document what's going on. Like I said, check out my videos. I've documented time and time again people yelling they're going to knock me the fuck out for the crime in Canada of recording on a public street. This is the polar opposite of Canadian values, and we're importing another 1.5 million people into the country between permanent and temporary residents in 2025, despite the fact we already have a housing crisis, we have a healthcare crisis. In excess of 70,000 Canadians are dying needlessly a year because they can't get the healthcare that they need. We have a 7.1 unemployment rate, 22% among young males, and our government continues to sell us out. I held a rally last week, and I appreciate the people who came out, I really do, but you can only get 50 people out to a rally in Canada, and we're seeing millions across Europe. And Canadians need to wake up. These policies rolled out by the Liberal Party, who are doing absolutely everything they can to destroy this country. It's intentional. This is malevolent. This is not a mistake. This is the intentional attempt to destroy Canada. And the vast majority of the Canadian public seems totally apathetic to what's going on. If this continues on for another 2-3 years, Canada as we know it and we loved it is going to be gone. It is going to cease to exist. We cannot continue importing these demographics. Demographics are our destiny. The Canada that we know and love, that we grew up in, if it's not already gone, it's going to be gone. We need to start fighting back and saying no more temporary foreign worker program, no more so-called immigration mobility program. Put the goddamn Canadian people first. You traitors, please like, share, subscribe this video. Spread this message as far as you can. Think about joining, becoming a member, help mold this Take Canada Back movement from the ground up. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you're following YouTube, youtube.com/Fight4Canada 2025. Because I'm over 18,000 followers, I think Canadian government is not a fan of dissidents. It's time, Canada. It's time to wake up right now.